Hey, I think I'm doing a video on changing spark plugs in a 2005 Honda Accord Hybrid. Uh, this part of the motor is completely simple. Just remove the coils and pull the spark plugs if they're loose. This part has the 140 volt wiring for the motor going right past it, and the spark plugs are somewhere down there. So what's easy in the front of the engine is not so easy in the back. I'm going to try to give everybody a guide in doing this. One of the questions that scares everybody is, what do you do with that wiring? I looked in the Honda shop manual, which I have right there, and that's the factory manual. Bought it a number of years ago, and they're not clear on how to do this. But if you look at the procedure for removing the ignition coils, right after the procedure for removing the ignition coils is to inspect the spark plugs. And they never really tell you how to disable this wiring other than move it out of the way. Unclip it and move it out of the way. I'm going to take an extra precaution because I've changed out the hybrid battery twice before, the only unreliable part of this car. And I'm going to disconnect the hybrid battery so those wires are not a problem. So I'm going to pull out the back seat and talk to you later. Okay, I got the back seat out. And I removed the screw right here on the top of the hybrid battery. This cover comes off, and there's a switch in there to throw. I'm gonna get my gloves to throw it. I'll be right back. Okay, there's the switch. Here are the electrician's glove I have. I'm gonna throw the switch. Boom, it's off. I use the gloves as a precaution. Every time I get back here, I put 2 of these batteries in. Don't ask about that. They want me to take this cover off next to the battery to measure the voltage on these 2 terminals. So I'm going to go do that. They're all 10 millimeter bolts. It comes right off. Sorry about the crappy video. No, they're not 10 millimeter bolts. They're a Torx something or another. I'll go get. Okay, haven't started on that yet, but the power is off. I haven't checked it, but I'm not touching it. I'm working on the fronts. I pulled out the 3 ignition coils, just 10 millimeter screws holding them in. Little tap nuts, cute. You can see there's a place where I haven't been able to clean. So I'm gonna clean that, but just see, I run the engine without the engine cover. The engine cover's over there. So, it looks better, doesn't it? 100,000 miles, look at that engine. Beautiful. Yes, I do wipe it off. Okay, this car is a 2005, so it's 19 years old. I'm in August of 2024. Here's the front 3 plugs compared to a brand new one of the exact same manufacturer and number. Don't change it. Honda says use these. Look at that, 100,000 miles, and other than a slightly bigger gap, they look pretty good, don't they? What an engine. Okay, just a little bit of anti-seize on the threads. I use this old stuff, Permatex anti-seize. I've had it in a while. Use a torque wrench to tighten. It's 156 inch-pounds or 13 foot-pounds. Okay, I got one in, two to go in the front. But no big deal here. I'm going to put it back together and show you. I also, on the coils, I look at them. This one's a good one. I had a funny one with some kind of gook on it, but I'm going to just take a little bit of dielectric grease, put it on my finger, and rub around the periphery. That's all I'm doing. A little bit might get in when it slides over the spark plug. Okay? Did you see any of that? Well, there's gook. Putting the coil on, I'm doing this awkwardly. Putting the coil on and just sliding it in. Make sure the screw lines up, move the coil and move the coil wires, and there, all three. I'm going to plug them in and put the screws on. Bingo. Front ones were easy. Let's see about the back now. Okay, there's the IMA battery. You see those two wires coming off, the orange ones? I got to measure the voltage between them and see how far it's bled down. This is all the electronics that are in there. When I changed that battery, I had to go and remove this wiring harness thing, flip it back, and replace that box. Turned out to be easy. That's why I'm not bashful about pulling this apart as I used to be. So I'm going to measure the voltage, and we'll talk about it when we come back. I'll probably have this cover back on. Yeah, I measured the voltage. I don't like using three hands with the camera. Measured the voltage. I saw something, maybe 20 volts, but it bam went away, and there's only millivolts there now, next to nothing. So it's all discharged, and I should be able to work safely without killing myself. Cover's back on. All the screws are in. Make sure you're very careful with that interlock. The screw cannot get in the way of that sliding pin. The only reason we're coming back here is to throw that switch back on when we're all done. Okay, so we're out of the back seat for a while. Okay, here's the Honda manual. And for ignition coil removal, they just say remove the cover and then remove the motor power cable clamps, disconnect the ignition coils, and disconnect and remove the rear bank. So disconnect the front ones, we already did that, and disconnect the rear ones. And no particular extra instructions other install in a reverse order. So Honda doesn't say to shut down the power system. I'm doing that as a precaution because I don't like orange or electricity at high voltage. Okay, that looks like a nice shot. Now I've already started disconnecting the power cables, or moving the power cables. And I just figured a little extra protection, being I have these gloves out and own them for this kind of work. Oh, come on, I don't know how to get this one in. There we go, that comes off. And things are opening up quickly. Let's see, there's that. That's good. Did you like that? And of course, I got to move the camera already. Yeah, can you see? These clips are nice so far. I haven't broken any. Let's see if I can on this one, huh? Sometimes you just gotta break down and get a flashlight. But this damn car is all aluminum everywhere. I can't really stick. Is that better? No, that's supposed to go. Nope, I don't want to go. Okay. Hey, look at that. It kind of latches. But it's still stuck. There we go. Okay, I'm going to pull this hose and we'll see where that gets us. Where's my bloody remote control? Okay, so I'm holding the power cables back with 2 bungees, and you can see the width of the hole I have to work on. Taking my Apple Watch off. So I can see and feel everything. 1, 2, I think I can get to the 3rd. All right, yep. So I'm gonna pull the nuts for the coils off and the wires for the coils. I may drop a drop light under the car to shine light up. I'll be back. Well, I got 1 coil out. The plug was very hard to get. I'm gonna go to the 2nd plug right now. You can see how little space, and like that bracket sticking out of the wall is really friendly. Okay, next. I can see it better that way. Release this. Push it. There you go. Look at that. Push it that way. Now I can see these 2 coils. Oh, look at that. Wire's off. Unscrewing the nut with my fingers. Uh-oh. That was a tight fit. Coil's coming out. So you're gonna drop something down in the hole. I haven't yet, but I'm gonna drop something down in the hole. Okay, 2 coils from the back. Okay. Now this plug is a bastard. Oh, excuse me. For all the kids watching this video, I'm sorry. tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the nut off. Number 3 nut. So I'm working on the last of 3 coils. Slide the coil up and out. Rotate it. Got it. You gotta squeeze a little tab at the same time. Now the cable's in the way the other way. So I gotta push it. I wonder how. Oh. So did I tell you I'm doing this video because I looked for this video and no one's done one. So figured it was time. My favorite tool. I'm just getting under the edge of the coil and sliding it up and out and trying to get it up high enough so it goes past this power cable that doesn't really want to let it pass. Well, I'm going to go figure that out. No power in this car. Okay, so we still recording? Thought I figured it out, but it just comes out and hits the cable. So it's being most annoying. I can't wait to get a spark plug wrench down that hole. Yeah. Nope. Okay, I got the 3rd coil out. What I had to do is I had to release a clip on this cable way down here so that I had enough slack to pull it all the way over to get the coil out. It was just too big to go around that lump of a wire. So I got it out. Now I got to go for the spark plugs. That's enough for a while. So after about an hour of fighting with moving the cruise control box and finally pulling on the wires, I got that away. But I'm just pulling out the first plug in the back. And what's important is the combination of wrenches I'm using to get it. Because it's kind of crazy that you got to pull them all out in pieces. First, an adapter. Second, this ain't gonna work. It's gonna come off. Oh. Can I disconnect it? No, I cannot. Yes, I did. Everything fell back in the hole. So I gotta get the spark plug and the socket out of the hole. But this is what I had above the spark plug and the socket. And let me get my magnet and cross my fingers. First one, magnet down in the hole. Slips off. Second time, magnet down in the hole. Come on. Got it. First rear plug. Looks great. Next one. Next. Okay. Here's number 5. Got the one trouble hole back behind the cable to do. All the plugs are looking. Can you focus on that? Ooh, way out there. All the plugs are looking great. The gaps don't seem excessive. I'll measure them later. But you got to work out a system with your sockets. I'm using this and a 6-inch extension, and it seems to work okay, but I got to put it in the hole in separate pieces. So I got to drop the socket down in the hole, and like when I put the spark plug back in, I'm going to put the spark plug in the socket and drop the two of them down in the hole, and then come at it with the extension, the 6-inch extension. So that's working for me. I'm going to go work on putting this one back in and the last one. See ya. So I dropped the socket and the spark plug with some goo on it, anti-seize, and now I'm coming at it with the extension and dropping the extension down the hole and engaging the spark plug and the socket, and now by hand I'm tightening, and I'm going to go down as much as I can. Luckily with the Honda, with this excellent metallurgy of theirs, I can get pretty far down, and then I'm coming at it. Where is it? Oh, it's right up here. With the preset at 160 or 158 inch-pounds. That's the spec in Flichman. And I come in and I engage and I finish ratcheting it down. Try not to bind while you're screwing it down. Apparently, it wasn't all the way down, so I'm finishing it with the torque wrench. But I use the torque wrench because it's such a low torque on these spark plugs. And that's probably why they came out when I asked them to today, although I got one left. Come on, guys. You there yet? I am going the right way, aren't I? I'm going nowhere fast. Yeah, we need to add some friction. See if I can grab it at this set of pliers. Just to hold the extension. There we go. Now you don't want to break the spark plug. There we go, I hit the torque. Yep. Now try getting a blankety blank out of the hole. Because when you pull back to disengage, if Derek Bury has the vice grip garage, I got the big ass screwdriver garage. Nah. Just Lee's garage. Okay, part one out. Ooh, look at that. I got enough room to pull it all the way out in one long piece. Yay. I have a mortar scope here. But I'm going to just check to make sure it looks right down in the hole. Because I can. Whoop. There we are. Down. Looks good. I think I'll take a picture of that. Okay. I'm going to go fight with the last one, then I'll talk to you. Okay. All 6 plugs changed and lubricated. I'm putting the little acorn nuts back on the coils to hold them in place. There's one. There's 2. I gotta bolt the cruise control back down. I took that up, trying to see if moving it would get me anything, and I don't think it did. Okay, this is the 3rd. I'm going to tighten them up with a 10mm wrench. Everything's 10mm, it seems, that isn't major. Yeah, I'm going to be putting everything back where it belongs very shortly. Not sure the order to hook it up, but I will be when I'm done. I think I'm going to put that cruise control thing back first. And then get everything bolted down, and then I got to hook power back up. I disconnected the main battery, and I'm going to go and reconnect the hybrid battery by throwing that switch, and that should bring the car back alive. Coil wires are on, all 3 locked down. I got to tighten where'd my 10 go? front of your nose. I'm just snugging these down. I'm not using it like a real wrench. But I don't use power tools to tighten ever. I've broken enough bolts in my days to know, don't do that. Stay quarter nut. Okay, coils are back in place. Spark plugs are back in place. The plugs look really good, front and back. So that's good news. Let's see if the car runs when I get it all back together. That's the icing on the cake. Thanks, guys. Hey, people. Can you still see? Okay. Finishing up. Putting the cables back in their clamps from that side, from driver's side. Push them back. They lock in. I pulled all my bungees out. Look at that, it's already in place. This one too. Clip, clip, clip. This car's how many years old? I broke this clip on the cruise control wire, kind of deliberately, and I'll fix it someday. Oh, I got a thing to put on around there. This thing. I wonder where it goes. There. That keeps people from opening that one. And that's a 10mm again. Which right in front of my nose, but can't see it. Here it comes. Sorry. That one too. Still one on the cruise control. Okay, so what I have to do now, double check everybody back where they should be. And I gotta go throw the power switch. I'm gonna have to put the back seat back in. I might clean up before I do that. But I'm gonna start powering her up. I don't see, oh, look at that. That one hose I took off. You gotta put a clamp on that. Alright, epilogue in a bit. Okay. Hey there, epilogue. Got it all back together. Got that done. Got the switch in the back done. I haven't put the back seat in yet. But let's see if she starts up, what kind of errors I get. I should get errors. Your trunk is open. Dashboard lights up. fan. So I don't know if you heard that, but I took it up to 4,000 RPM, like they say in the manual, to clear any codes. I had no codes, but I did it. Waited till I had 2 bars on the meter for the battery level. When I had 2 bars, I could back off, and everything seems to be happy. No lights, no runs, no hits. Just got to put the back seat back in. Take care, guys. This is Lee's Garage signing off. No codes, no problems required. Borescope wasn't really required, but I looked in the cylinders. Things look good. And ignore the carburetor, that's for somebody else. Although it wouldn't be a bad idea.